Hi everybody, my name is Megan Fielder. I'm the author and creator behind Algebra Elevated, and I love giving teachers choice through digital and printable activities that provide students with lots and lots of feedback. So today's video is all about a scavenger hunt for your classroom. So I use these in my math classroom, but they are applicable to other classrooms out there. And when I first heard about these as a newer teacher, I was like, what is that? I thought they were talking about those escape rooms where you answer these questions and you get a clue and then you run around and might look for another clue and eventually you get out or something. Scavenger hunt is actually much more simple and it's super easy to implement, and it gives your students feedback along the way so that they know if they get a question wrong immediately, they can ask for help, they can try it again, and then they move on to the next question. So, general premise. The idea is that everywhere around the room you have the questions to your scavenger hunt, and then on the other half of the card around the room is the answer to a previous question of your scavenger hunt. So what happens is if a student answers a question and they can't find their answer somewhere else in the room, then that means they didn't answer it correctly. So to show you an example of this is what my scavenger hunts look like. This is the printable version. I have a printable and digital version available of these. So here's the question that they're trying to answer, and then there's the previous answer from a different question. So students can start on whatever question they want, and they basically just work in a circle throughout all the questions, answer the question, and then this answer happens to be -1. So then it would send them to this card, and then what I like to do is I like to include the letters on there. And then when I look over their student answer sheet, I just check that the letter order is correct. It makes it a lot easier for me to grade, which if you've been here for a little while, you know I'm all about those quick and easy grading ideas. And then it provides them lots of practice. The other thing that this activity involves is since they're hung up around the room, they are getting up and moving. A lot of times they'll work in small groups. And so it's incorporating all those other engagement ideas in one simple activity for teachers. So this particular Slope from 2 Points activity is included in my free resource library. So if you're interested in that, there will be a link down below in the description for you to join my email list and get access to that. On the download for that, there are a set of teacher instructions. So I often, if I know I'm going to use my scavenger hunt again next year, I laminate them. And I might even put them in a bright color so that they stand out against my white walls. Or if I'm in a hurry, I just print it out and tape them up. Tape them up randomly around your room is step 2. When they come downloaded, they are actually in order. This helps grading or finding mistakes from your student's perspective. But what I do then is I pretty much take one and post it on each different wall of my room. And then I go back. And that ensures that when the students are going through it, they're not just going around in a circle, but they're actually bouncing around the room. And then step 3 says to give each student or group of students an answer sheet and then with a clipboard. That really helps get the answers and the work more legible if they have a clipboard with it. This is what my answer sheet looks like, and that's also included in the download. So each question, there's a diamond for them to write the letter on and then space to work. And there's 16 cards total. When they get to the end, the last station, it says, did this take you back to your first station? So if they do everything correctly, when they get to the end, it should circle back to wherever they started. Which brings me to the answer key. The answer key to this looks like this. And if you notice, it's basically a big circle. So your students can start wherever they want. And so if they start on the letter C, then they would go to I and work around the circle. If they start on the letter J, then they would go to B and work around the circle that way. So it just depends where they start, but that is great that they can start wherever they want, because then what I do to start my scavenger hunts is I make every student get up and pick a station. I ensure that they're all kind of spread out. And then I say go, and every student's going to work at a different pace, but then you're not having like 30 kids all at one spot trying to answer the first question. Now, if Your planning doesn't allow for a whole day's activity because this usually does take close to the whole hour to be a scavenger hunt. There's also included a digital version of the scavenger hunt, which looks a little different, but I love assigning that for homework, or if I'm having a substitute teacher, that's what I have them do that day because it's a little more of a controlled environment. And even if we have students making up tests, that's another thing. They can do this at their seat while the other students are working on whatever they need. So let me show you what that looks like. So this is the digital scavenger hunt. There starts with a directions sheet. I usually print out that same student worksheet that I use for the printable version. I print that as well to support students through the digital version so that they have somewhere to show their work. But the directions all right there, and then they would click here or go just to the next slide to get started. And this is kind of the home screen for the scavenger hunt. Just like in the one around the room, they can start wherever they'd like. So if I want to start at M, I would drag that to the start, and then I go to the slide that it's on so that I can see the question a lot larger so that I'm not trying to see super small. And this one is actually a Simplifying Radicals scavenger hunt that I have available in my TPT shop, but all the scavenger hunts I have include the printable and the digital, and they all look exactly like this. So this one, they simplify the radical as much as possible. Square root of 28, that's going to be 2 root 7. So then I go back to the start page. I find 2 root 7, that's this one, and then I drag that to spot number 2. Then I would go to that slide. I see my previous answers on there. Question, simplify the radical as much as possible. Square root of 18, that's going to be 3 root 2. So then I go back, look for 3 root 2, that's over here, and drag that onto my screen. Then at the end of the scavenger hunt, my students submit this back to me or share it back to me. They could even work with other students through the share button. And then I check their student worksheet as well as this slide. I check the order of those letters, just like I would do if they were around the room. So now that you've seen both my digital and my printable version of the scavenger hunt, hopefully it makes a little more sense what it looks like and the way you might implement it in your own classroom. Like I said, I just have loved these from the very beginning. I have very few issues with them. And having the digital and the printable version has been great. Even if a student is absent, I'll send them the digital version, even though other students might have done the printable around the room version in class. Having that flexibility has been fantastic for my classroom, so I hope you enjoy it as well. If you try one of these scavenger hunts, let me know how it went. If your students liked it, didn't like it, ideas for any changes that need to be made. I'm always interested to see or hear what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and share so that others can find it as well. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great day.